Hello, Ms. Benavides. Thank you for coming in to see me today. I'm glad you were able to take time out of your day to meet with me. The reason I have called for this meeting is so that we can discuss Alicia's progress. Last Monday, everyone in our class took the Iowa Test of Basic Skills. The test is an achievement test that assesses a student's proficiency of major content areas in all subjects, which is also known as a complete battery test. I wanted to discuss with you what each score means. However, please feel free to stop me if you have any questions.
All right, that sounds good.
So let's take a look at Alicia's scores. First, let's look at the top portion. This part indicates the scores being achieved nationally, what we will call the national norm. And the bottom portion indicates how well Alicia's performed in each content area and explains where she is ranked in comparison to the national norm. The data collected will have absolutely no effect on her advancement to the next grade level. This test is only given to find out which content areas the student could use more help in. The test is a benefit for all students and is no way displayed in a negative manner. The scores are all confidential and are only to be viewed by a select few. Here you can see Alicia scored exceptionally well in comprehension. On a scaled score for comprehension, Alicia scored 198 within the norm group. A scaled score tells you what grade level the student is performing at. Currently, Alicia is performing at a 4th grade level, which is great. The norm group is basically the group her scores are compared to and from the test. The norm group is the entire 3rd grade class. Alicia is also doing really well in the area of problem solving and data interpretation. If you will look with me on the bell curve, you will notice Alicia is in the 71st percentile in comprehension and scored in the 59th percentile in problem solving and data interpretation. You can see that with both scores, she is in with the same band, the percentile band. The percentages are the frequency of the scores relatively higher or lower than what Alicia performed at each content area. For example, in comprehension, she is ahead of her class by 71%. I know this is quite a bit of information, but in the packet I will be sending home with you includes a copy of her test scores, the bell curve, and a vocabulary sheet to help you identify the terms and what each term consists of when you're going back over. Once you get home and have a chance to look back over the information, if you have any more questions, you can call me. Do you have anything so far?
Yes, this is an earful of information, but can I ask you how you plan on taking this information and helping Alicia, as well as the other students in her class?
Oh, of course. If you look below, unfortunately, Alicia has some difficulties in capitalization. I intend to take the content areas that display the most trouble and focus my lesson plan making to redirect and reconstruct the foundation of the content areas that are giving our class as a whole difficulty.
Wonderful. I was wondering if there is anything outside the classroom that I can do to help speed up the process. But if you will be devoting time during class to direct attention to Alicia's specific needs, as well as the needs of other students, I feel I shouldn't have to worry as much.
I'll do my best to get Alicia performing at grade level in the content areas that she is not currently doing so well in. Unfortunately, we will need to discuss the areas Alicia is not performing her best in. If you'll look at the score sheet, you will notice Alicia's main difficulty is capitalization. When you look at the chart near the bottom, you will notice under capitalization there are 5 subtests totaling to 24 total items. This means that on the test there are 24 questions dealing with capitalization. Subtests are a portion of the test which covers a broad subject area. If you take a look at the top left corner, you will find the subtests. If we go down the list, you will see the subtests include vocabulary, comprehension, reading, total, word analysis, and so on. I know this can be overwhelming, but it's only a broad overview of what your child was tested on. If you move to the bottom row of the results, you will see a more detailed description of each subtest. Let's take a look at the subtest of punctuation. In this section, we can see the breakdown by punctuation, commas, apostrophes, quotes, colons, semicolon, and correct punctuation. So this is just a more detailed approach.
Good. How do I know the amount of questions my daughter answered correct?
That is something we call raw scores. Raw scores are simply the number of items a student correctly answers. For example, if a test has 60 items and a student gets 43 correct, their raw score is 43. Let's look at some of Alicia's raw scores. What we want to focus on is where it reads percent correct by student. Percent correct means when the raw score is divided by the total number of questions and the result is multiplied by 100, so that the percent correct score is obtained. If we took a look under spelling at words with affixes, we can see that Alicia's raw score was 100% correct. If we look under capitalization in names and titles, you will see that Alicia's raw score here is 50%. This means that she answered half of the questions correctly. So when looking for raw scores, we look at the amount or percent that the student answers correctly. There is another important grading term that is usually a little easier to follow. There is a term that is called STAY-9. A STAY-9 is a simple, easy grading score that consists of a score from 1 through 9. On the score system, 1 through 3 are below average, 4 through 6 are considered average, and 7 through 9 are below average. So if we were to take another look at the bell curve and place Alicia's grade for listening, she would have scored a 7, which is wonderful. But for capitalization on the curve, she would have scored a 1, which is not where we want her. Here you can keep this grade sheet for the ITBS that Alicia took, along with the bell curve sheet. So now that you have a general idea of how to read the performance sheet, you can go over it with Alicia when you get a chance and show her how well she is doing and show her where she needs some help. Try to be positive and show her where she is doing well first and applaud her for it. Then talk to her about all the areas where she could improve. Again, this is not a test that determines whether or not she will pass to the next grade, but this is a tool that picks apart all areas of comprehension, which lets us know where we can help her. And also, if you go back to the STAY-9s, you see that these are really broad sections. So if she was to make a 59 in the percentile and a 71 in the same percentile, she's still ranked in the 6th section, so the STAY-9 section, so it's not very precise, and that's the only limitation we have on the STAY-9s. Do you have any questions?
Is there anything that I could do for her to help her improve her capitalization skills?
A good thing you could do is read her books, magazines, newspaper articles, and have her look at the text so she can see the sentence structure, which will help her determine where she will need to capitalize a word. What I'm going to do to help her is incorporate lessons of capitalization when I'm teaching. I think this sums up our meeting. Do you have any questions or concerns you would like to talk about?
No, I think you basically covered everything.
Well, I thank you very much for your time. I hope to see you again soon, and feel free to drop by and see me or call if you need anything. Take care.
Thank you so much.